Men can claim anything after a plea deal, but he still pled guilty. And if there was nothing in it, then they would have nothing to charge him with. Okay, let's keep it there. Because the ultimatum is you can fight it, dude. You can fight it. And he's trying to make excuses. He does not take accountability for anything. He makes excuses for everything. And yes, they ran over the victims. And the victims are suffering right now. There's a lot more than one. And he's like, so he says anything. So we had another celebrity do this a while back, like quite a while back when they're no longer here. And they certainly had some things, but he had some great lawyers, right? As we've seen this happen multiple times with their lawyers being able to argue some things and then they get to talk it down. But they still got a sex offender registry. And so he claims that those allegations were just not true. And despite his child endangerment conviction, okay. And so we're in 2024. We're not in 1992 anymore where these guys keep going, I had no idea, nothing. I just go after whoever. And maybe there is something wrong with the way that you're going at people. You know? Just at random. I don't just randomly start flirting with guys online. I've talked to a lot of guys online, but I ain't trying to hook up. So here's the thing. I responded to some DMs and was incredibly irresponsible and got myself into conversations that I shouldn't have. Well, I've never gotten into any sexual conversations on my regular DMs. Okay, so if there's any bullshit going on and there's somebody using other platforms where you make sure that somebody's of age. Apparently, these guys, and not just him, there's been other celebrities have done this that start going at little kids. So these guys just do it all the time. And he's like, that I shouldn't have. So he says that much, right? Irresponsible. But he paints himself as a victim. This is so disgusting. You're not a victim. You literally partook in something that you should not have. Okay, so anyways, they did this documentary. It's just disgusting. Anyway, so I ended up finding out that I was talking to someone that I shouldn't have been talking to. And it snowballed into these allegations that were not true. Okay, it can't be both these things. You got into conversations and started getting into it with somebody. You don't know their ages. You don't even know them, right? So why are you getting into these conversations with people you don't even know? It could be a 12-year-old kid. Oh, indeed. This is ridiculous. Also, the way that kids talk, when I'm sitting there online, I see certain mannerisms. Like sometimes it may be hard to tell, but most of the time it's like, this is somebody that's either not very bright or it is a kid. It just depends how they're talking to me. Because sometimes, because they use a lot of lingo that I don't use anymore because I'm a lot older. I could be their mom. And he's going on. And then they go, and it just turned into this big thing. Like, I don't know how. Yeah, so he starts in this. Bell was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service, which is hardly nothing. And he should be very grateful his lawyers or whoever argued this down to get just that. And shut up. And admit your fault and let it be. And stop harming other victims. Because he wants to be the only victim in the story, right? It's like, these people, screw them. You guys need to care about me. This is the show, and I hate it. In connection to December 27th incident and in 2017, all these guys were totally out. Oh, we have the right to do all this crap, right? Okay, yeah. And the incident where he was accused of grooming and sexually abusing a minor. Despite initially pleading not guilty, he ultimately pled guilty to child endangerment charges in 2021. And in the story, I was saying that he even said it, he's like, I just want to get it over with. I just don't want to think about it anymore. I don't care about anybody and la 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 la. Okay. I ended up pleading. Now here's his excuse. Okay. We've read it before. I ended up pleading guilty because financially I was just devastated. And I just had a son and I didn't want to put my family through all of this anymore. Okay, so we already read your past excuses on this, so now he's throwing his kid in here. Uh-huh. And I've talked about this multiple times. For whatever reason, socios always throw their kid up in front of them like a total human shield, like they're objects, right? Like this is the like honest to God, if you were gonna be a good dad, you would have never acted like this online. Period. Okay, so he's like, I ended up going through the process the way that I did. Very regretful. Oh, now he's getting an ego on this. Okay, that's not. Okay. Again, it wasn't just one victim. I believe there was like a handful. I covered this from the very beginning because I didn't know who he was right away. And I was like, what's this? Yeah. So he's like, Bell alleged that he wasn't aware that the girl was 15 years old. But when he found out that he claimed that he cut communications off with her, while Bell noted the girl attended some of his concerts, he said, I was doing everything I could to kind of. I love this. Okay. I did everything I could to kind of, throw the kind of. Oh, he's such a manipulator. Kind of keep my distance. Kind of didn't, right? A lot of things she said about sending inappropriate pictures and things like this, it was able to be investigated and showed that none of that existed. Oh, did it? I don't think so, because if it did, then they wouldn't have a charge on you. Honest to God, like, if they were on a case like this, they started to charge somebody with something, and then all of a sudden there's nothing in the case, like, they wouldn't have charged them in the first place. They had something. So, I mean, it doesn't go there. They have something. And so he's claiming none of this exists. So he could say all this crap, right? And then he goes, he did have those conversations with the girl. However, so he took responsibility for that. What are you doing up in here? What's this bullshit up at the top then? What are those conversations, dude? What are the conversations? So okay, yeah, so you're guilty. I don't know. There's scrambled egg brain, dude. I'm telling you, it's nuts. I didn't really do that. And I don't know how you could even argue. I'm not a socio, so it's like hard for me to like try to manipulate some story. Like a defense lawyer could do it because they make up shit all day long. To try to be a sociopath and create some story to make that okay, and try to make me the victim in it. Now, I mean, I could sit there and talk about how when we were kids we're all naive and stupid, but does it sit there and erase the fact that I did something? No. So what am I going to do about it? I'm going to take responsibility for it and say thank God I hadn't done it since, and no, I do not do that today. Whatever, I'm just as an example, but I didn't do any of this. I've talked to kids online. I've always thought it was crazy that parents don't care who their kids are talking to. And I'm always thinking, like, thankfully, like, I'm not trying to go at somebody's kids, But I think, God, how dangerous, because what if, somebody's a Drake Bell, and they would take up on those kids the way that, because kids sometimes are just dumb, and they're flirting. They might think he's hot, right? And you almost expect like some girl to start flirting with them because, they think he's hot and he's a celebrity and wow, what a big deal that he's actually talking to me, right? And I think that parents need to talk to their kids that you got to be careful, because they could be this total monster predator, but kids are not thinking that way. They're just not thinking that way. But unfortunately, Belle's that person and Belle is going to go play along with it and then try to get around it. And now he's playing pretend that he's the victim and he's innocent. Yeah, I mean, it's just the insanity of it. It's on the adult to act in a manner that you need to know who you're talking to, for one, before you start in with any sexual content. That's like number one. Like, I don't know who just randomly goes in a DM and starts getting sexual with anybody. These men have major problems. They think they have the right to do it and they could throw this thing out like, I had no idea. I almost automatically assume, most of the time anyway, like somebody coming at me going, you're hot or something. It's probably some kid or some weirdo or whatever. And I usually try to, this is just me. I try to avoid even going into that area with these people And then sometimes what'll happen is they'll keep forcing, like trying to get info from me and all this other stuff. And, and I'm such an open person that I don't really care most of the time about stuff, but other people have very bad MOs, of what they're trying to do. But at no time am I sitting there like trying to sex with somebody in a DM at random. Like, I don't know what platform he was doing this on. Instagram, I don't know. I just wouldn't. Why would you randomly do it with someone you don't know? That's the thing. So there's something wrong with you because you're doing that with random people you never even met. You don't know who they are. Do you know what they look like? If you saw what they look like, you would know they're a kid. All these things about it, and he doesn't take any response. Oh, he's the victim. The men are the victims. This is the bullshit that's been going on forever. And so he's running again. He doesn't care about anybody but himself, and he's running over other victims that he did something with. He's like, I did this. Good, shut up. Why? I mean, this is the thing. Like, it's like he's rubbing himself to the ground. Like, what a monster he is. It's like, he you know what? He just will never take responsibility for it. That's why I said, I go, there's no cure for this. I go, unfortunately, there's not. I go, even when they get busted, this is what happens. Honest to God. Like, they'll go rape some kids. When they come out, they will make every excuse under the sun that, that kid did this, all this stuff. And their mentality here, their scrambled egg brain, is not changed. It's not changed, you guys. He's not fixed. And it doesn't mean that he's not going to do it again either, because right now he will not take responsibility for this whole thing at all. That he's the adult, it's on him. Like, that's just it. That's kind of the bottom line to this story. And it's like, suck it up and do it, and admit your fault. Because he'll never get past this. He's just constantly going to be this person. And, okay, so, did someone say he had a brother? I was reading oh no, that was Ashton, never mind. That other dude. I was like, someone said they had a brother that was mentally ill and emotionally something. And I was like, oh God, their home life must have, it has a story to it that I haven't gone through yet. But anyway, I was thinking it was that, but it's not. It's just, okay, so there's just so much that I've had to deal with. And through that, like I said, not having the tools or not knowing how to process things. Oh, really? I don't think you need to have anybody teach you that going after kids and just randomly having sex conversations with anybody online is your own damn problem. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody needs to tell you that. We've been having the conversation for decades. So at whatever point that you chose to do what you did, that's it. It's on you, 1,000% on you. You're not innocent. I made a lot of decisions in my life that I shouldn't have made and hurt a lot of people. Good, then shut up. I don't know why you're hurting more people right now by making this shit up and not taking accountability for what you did in this situation. Because a lot of people, there's a lot of forgiving people out here. I ain't one of them, but there's a lot of forgiving people out here that would see this and you take accountability for it. They can sometimes get past this they can look at going, you made bad mistakes right here and you've done a lot to sit there and improve yourself later. You're not even at that point yet. You're not at that point. I don't think you're ever going to get at that point, Bill. That's my opinion on this, and that's how I'm breaking these guys down. They continually do this, and that other guy totally did that. He started making shit up on TV, did a whole TV rounds. All his little pedo pals, the people that want to protect all these bad people, come up in here and protect that person. I go, and they will never take responsibility because they have mental problems. They have disorders. They have a lot of problems here. So you being a victim doesn't make you not also a perpetrator, because many of them have been turning into perpetrators. And you're definitely there. You cannot take the accountability. That's the problem with it. And we have to suffer from you, and then you're coming back at us, all of us who have been victims to this, and saying, I did nothing wrong. It's all on you and you're a liar. That's the message that you're throwing on us. And then you're causing major gender violence. So you're the biggest problem in this incomplete story here, mostly as a male. Because that gender violence ain't on you. It's on women. And so that's what you're painting here. That's the shit you want to throw out on an entire gender. So you're a damn problem. And I don't care what your other thing happened here. It shouldn't have happened, but it does not okay this conduct on us and trying to call us all liars. That's basically what you're throwing out here. So I think I'm finally in a place where I can process and deal with this through therapy. Nah. If that therapist don't tell you you're a sociopath, forget it. That's just the joke of this town. And I've been through and actively going through unearthing all these things and being able to face them head on for really the first time in my life. Exactly. So you were not this angelic little boy before you started messing with these kids. You need therapy. But therapy ain't going to fix you because right here, I'm going to tell you this. You go into therapy like this and start pulling this shit right here, it ain't worth a dime. It's wasting everybody's time.